Hi, my name is Muhammad Aiman Amin bin Ramlan.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Haiman bin Dusi.
Hai, my name is Elni Kuzini binti Ahmad Saripi.
My name Nur Ashra Indra binti Zulkarnain.
Okay, my name is Ajam Rahim bin Azali and
Hi, my name is Afifa Nadira binti Sudirman.
Hi, my name is Nur Natasha Izzati binti Mazlan.
Hi, my name is Nur Shakira Dena.
My name is Muhammad Alif Aiman bin Johari.
My name is Siti Nur Najiha binti Karaponan.
Okay, today I would like to share with you about the difference between the news story and feature story. Okay, news story and feature story are different kinds of content, but plenty of writers confuse on them. Both news story and feature story are standard fare in magazines, newspapers, newsletters, and yes, blogs. Okay, so here the gist, which is a news story reports the facts about an event, but a feature story explains a significance of an event. It's offer like analysis. This is the general difference between the news story and feature story. Okay, let me see the specific difference between the news story and feature story.
So now, I want to talk about the difference between a news story and a feature story, which is timing. The major difference between a news story and a feature story is that a news story is time sensitive and of immediate interest, such as an accident, a medical report release, a robbery reports, and others. Media outlets want to publish news story as quickly as possible after an event occurs. However, feature story are not as time dependent and contain no urgent contents. It means it can be published at any point because its content is often evergreen or at least lasting. Besides that, you also can write one anytime after an event occurs.
The difference between a news story and feature story are the length word in the news and feature writing. The news story, the writing is very short. The average word used is below 1000 words, but it depends on the topic to publication. It because news need to be delivered quickly. For example, this news is very short and the word count is 800 and more. While the feature story, the writing is very long. The average word used are above 1000 words because it will explain in the more detail about the story, so the reader can be more interested. For example, this feature story is longer than news story and the word is 1200 and more.
so what is the difference between a news article and feature article? A news article is report the fact who, what, where, when, why and how. Example like a news article about 3 killed, 52 hurt in Tigers 14. It mentions this 5W and 1H and its written is straightforward. While the feature article is a human interest story about a person, event or place. Example article about Proton S50 to be priced from RM 79,200 to RM 103,300. This will be the things that is interesting to the readers to be involved to this article. Besides, rather than simply summarizing the subject, a feature article also highlight one aspect or significance of the story. It is less formal style may take an odd twist or heartwarming angle.
So the next point for the differences between news and feature stories are about structure. A news story is structured in the inverted pyramid format with key facts at the beginning of the article. This way the reader can get basic information in the first sentence or two. While a feature story allows the subject to determine its format, whether in a standard outline form such as a list, sequence, or comparison, or one of the 7 main story formats. Then, as for the subject matter, features covers endless topics from profile to narratives, interviews, essay, exposes, how-to, columns, and reviews.
Lead is the opening paragraph for a story. To produce a good news story, lead is the most important and the hardest part to write. It gives readers the most important information in a clear, concise, and interesting manner. It also establishes the voice and direction of an article. Writing a lead must include the fundamental question of news writing, which are 5W1H. Also, keep it simple and do not bury the lead. Plus, use the ABCs of journalism, which are accuracy, brevity, and clarity. Though this should be incorporated throughout the article, they are especially important in the lead. There are a few different types of lead. For example, summary lead, short sentence lead, delay identification lead, and many more.
Types of headline in newspaper. First, flash left headline. For example, news about music video touches city personal record. This is one of the modern headline forms in use. It consists of 2 or 3 lines of headline, each one set flash left to the left side of the space. Second, invert pyramid headline. For example, news about several areas in Kuala Lumpur undergo sanitization. The invert pyramid stories are the most important information goes in the first paragraph, and the less important information follows to the very end of the story. Third, crossline headline. For example, news about the constantly changing order of the day. The crossline headline is a large headline and it is one of the simplest type of headlines, consisting of a single line and more than one column for a story. Lastly, deck. For example, news about twin towers in the making. The types of headline are the deck. The deck is one or more lines of text, usually not more than 3 depending on columns found between the headline and the body of the article.
Okay, next, I would like to explain to you about the inverted pyramid writing style. This inverted pyramid has divided into 3 main stages, which is firstly the lead, secondly the body, and thirdly the tail. The first one is the lead. This is the most important information about an event. It conducts with 5W and 1H, which is who, what, where, when, why, and how. I took an example from this news. A Mexican journalist has been shot dead in crime-ridden Ciudad Juarez near the US border, Chihuahua State Governor Javier Corral said on Friday. Arturo Alba Medina is the 6th journalist to have been murdered this year in Mexico, one of the world's most dangerous countries for the reporters. Second stages is the body, which is the crucial information expanding the topic that involve between an argument, controversy, story and evidence, and the background details. For instance, in the news is Corral condemned the cowardly murder and said he had told prosecutors to ensure the killers are punished. Justice will be done, he wrote on Twitter. The 49-year-old journalist television news show host was assassinated a few minutes after the end of his program on Thursday night, according to Media Watchdog Reporters Without Borders (RSF). The last stage is the tail of this inverted pyramid that might be including an extra interesting related includes extra content that has in the news. For example, during his predecessor, Enrique Pena Nieto tenure, at least 42 journalists were killed while there were about 2,000 attacks on reporters, according to an NGO. In 2019, 10 journalists were killed in Mexico, according to an RSF count. That's all from me, thank you.
Okay, for inverted pyramid, I will choose a news from the Star, and I will explain about inverted pyramid. Okay, for the lead, which is in first paragraph, it used when, who, why, and how. Okay, for the example, after getting through several phases of the Movement Control Order (MCO), most people have adapted to buying a week supply or more to avoid going out often. And for body, this situation gives some observation to the businessmen on their supermarket, such as Bayan Baru Market Traders Association Chairman, second Gamma Supermarket and Departmental Store Senior Manager, and Sunshine Wholesale Mart Sdn Bhd Director. And for the tail, based on Bayan Baru Market Traders Association Chairman, for example, Leong Hao Sun said, no need to panic buying, supplying grocery store, and this is become a new norm.
The inverted pyramid structure has been in use for over 1,050 years. The Associated Press is reported to be the first party to implement this structure, especially for straight news. Through this structure, the reader quickly learns what the core content of the writing is. If the reader wants to know more, he can see what is in the next paragraph. For news writers, this structure saves writing. When the news is lengthy, while the space to load the news is limited, the journalist only cuts the bottom, tail, or if you need to cut one paragraph before the last paragraph. According to the Metro daily newspaper Harian Metro, the writer and journalist Nurul Hidayah Bahauddin has written articles pertaining fast charges foreigners to Malaysia while lockdown. Carried out in his article, more police report against Al Jazeera in the Malay language, lagi laporan polis terhadap Al Jazeera. This article was written on Monday, 6 July 2020. In addition, this article was written and published live in the Metro Daily Media at 5:43 p.m. According to a report from journalist and writer Nurul Hidayah Bahauddin, this article was also written because this news got the attention of many Malaysians because it involved a Bangladesh resident, Mat Raihan Kabir, who lived in Kuala Lumpur, who reported to Al Jazeera reporters that they were treated badly by Malaysians during the lockdown in Malaysia due to the COVID pandemic-19. The accusation made by the Bangladesh people caused Malaysians to be locked down upon the and Malaysians' reputation in other countries. The body of important news written by journalist Nurul Hidayah Bahauddin is a Bangladesh. Mat Raihan Kabir, who has reported to Al Jazeera reporters that they are foreigners received cruel and bad treatment during the lockdown in Malaysia. The report has offended Malaysians and minister for defaming Malaysia's name all over the world and causing Malaysians' name to be effaced. The tail of news from the article or newspaper I studied by Harian Metro about Bangladesh citizen Mat Raihan Kabir was hunted by immigration as soon as this report was spread widely in the media. Journalist Sri Ayu Kartika Amri, who wrote the article on Tuesday, 7 July 2020 at 12:54 p.m., it has confirmed that the Malaysian Immigration Department is seeking the help to the public to track down a Bangladesh man known as Mat Raihan Kabir. The 25 years old was sought to assist in the investigation under the Immigration Act 1959/63. The last address was reported at Sirhan Negara Sdn Bhd B79 Menara Uncang Emas, Actified Jalan Lok Yew 52,000 Kuala Lumpur. In conclusion, we are aware that spreading the false story is wrong and know the right of the authorities.